Imagine a world where the global economy takes a dramatic turn, shaking the very foundation of international trade. For decades, the US dollar has been the cornerstone of transactions on Western exchanges, a symbol of financial dominance. However, for countries like Russia, this system has become a trap. After sanctions were imposed following its actions in Ukraine, Russia has struggled to navigate an increasingly restrictive financial order. Now, a bold idea has emerged, one that could shift the balance of power. Enter the BRICS Grain Exchange, an initiative inspired by the OPEC model. OPEC holds sway over global oil prices, so this proposed exchange aims to dominate the international grain market. Imagine the ability to control wheat prices through the coordinated actions of nations, transforming the grain trade into a powerful economic lever. This vision is not just about grain. It's a strategic move to reduce reliance on Western-dominated financial systems and, more importantly, the US dollar. For years, the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have sought to challenge the status quo, promoting trade in local currencies and carving out their own space in the global economy. The BRICS Grain Exchange could be the keystone in this effort, offering these nations a chance to control a critical commodity while asserting their financial independence. The stakes have only increased with the recent expansion of BRICS, including Egypt, Iran, the United Arab Emirates, and Ethiopia. This expansion isn't just symbolic, it's a calculated step toward creating a bloc with global influence. Each new member brings unique strengths. Economic powerhouses like the UAE and strategic players like Iran add complexity and capability to the BRICS alliance. Wheat, often called the staff of life, is not just a commodity. It's a lifeline. It sustains billions of people across the globe. If the BRICS Grain Exchange succeeds, it could fundamentally reshape global food security. By controlling wheat prices, the BRICS nations could stabilize their economies, protect their populations, and gain leverage in international negotiations. But this power comes with immense responsibility and risk. This shift could spell trouble for countries that rely heavily on grain imports. A coordinated effort by BRICS nations to influence prices might lead to market volatility, potentially exacerbating food shortages in vulnerable regions. The consequences could ripple across continents, triggering new economic and humanitarian crises. And what about the West? The US dollar's dominance isn't just an economic tool. It's a geopolitical weapon. Western nations have long used sanctions, trade controls, and financial incentives to influence the global stage. The BRICS initiative directly challenges this system, posing a significant threat to the dollar's supremacy. If BRICS nations succeed, it could weaken the West's ability to use financial tools as leverage, potentially redrawing the global power map. However, turning this vision into reality will take work. Coordinating policies among the BRICS members, each with unique economic priorities and political agendas, is a monumental task. With its global ambitions, China might have goals different from those of South Africa or Russia. Aligning these interests to create a unified strategy will require delicate diplomacy and compromise. Then there's the question of external resistance. The West is unlikely to sit idly by while its influence is challenged. trade wars, retaliatory sanctions, and efforts to undermine the credibility of the BRICS grain exchange could create significant obstacles. The global economy is an interconnected web, and any disruption to one part of it inevitably affects the rest. The recent expansion of the BRICS adds another layer of intrigue. Given Iran's history of sanctions, Iran sees this as an opportunity to circumvent Western controls. Strategically located and economically ambitious, Egypt could provide access to key markets. As a financial hub, the UAE offers resources and expertise, while Ethiopia represents a gateway to Africa's growing potential. Together, these nations signal that BRICS isn't just an alliance, it's a movement. At its core, the BRICS grain exchange tests whether nations can work together to challenge an entrenched system. It's a daring gamble that could either redefine global trade or lead to new economic tensions. As the BRICS nations pursue this vision, the world watches with anticipation and caution. The implications are staggering. If the BRICS grain exchange succeeds, it could usher in a new trade era, with the balance of power shifting away from traditional centers of influence. However, failure could further fragment the global economy, leaving vulnerable nations in the crossfire. This is more than an economic experiment. It's a battle for control, a reimagining of how nations interact on the world stage. Will BRICS redefine global trade rules, or will this bold initiative falter under the weight of its ambitions? One thing is sure, the stakes have never been higher. Leave a comment. Your input is very important.